Hello, Esther.
Hello, Donna. Good to see
You,
you again.
yeah, and hello to everyone who will be watching and listening. This is our seventh episode this week, and we are going to be talking about self-care in this episode. And it's like how to self-care.
Yeah.
I think it's quite an important thing for everyone.
Yes. Yes, it is. I um I think I it's hard. Hard to begin to talk about it. And
Mm.
generally it's hard to self-care, I think. For me, because I think self-care begins with being courageous enough to be different from the others. And I explained that why I think that because I think in society maybe there is a little bit of tendency that we go as like a herd or like similar people, not individual. And when you start to think like that, then you, I think, automatically maybe start to a bit put your needs or your emotions or yourself in the background a little bit, who
Mm.
you really are. So I begin there.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think from my own experience, is not having time, not
Mm-hmm.
having it a time
Oh,
is
yeah,
is
true.
um not creating the time for let
Mm-hmm.
alone myself is creating a time for others. And
Oh,
I am
yeah.
guilty of like not picking the phone up if someone is calling me or
Mhm.
even like if someone wants to talk to me, if it's one of my families, I haven't got the time right now. I just dismiss it. And yeah, I'm guilty of doing that, and I try, but it's been
But then how is it not self-caring? And
uh,
how is like, okay, then if we swap it and we
yeah,
say feeling like I have time or I have all the time in the world in this
yeah.
moment,
I think
how
I
is
have
it
I
self-care?
think I have an old pattern that keeps coming up
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
where I have to be in a hurry, or I have
Uh-huh.
to get things. It's like this having this needing to. I have to keep going. I have to keep making sure everything's done. Being I was a
Yes.
single parent with two young children,
Oh, yeah.
so it was
Mhm.
quite. It had to be quite organized, and just
And,
yeah,
and
it was
and and by
busy.
saying that, when you say that organize, and be in a certain way, that also suggests to me that you follow some kind of rule, social rule that's in your head, and you're not completely following your weird, sometimes self, how
Yeah,
you would originally do it,
yeah, yeah.
in a way.
But it's interesting. What I find interesting is that I'm still running this hurry busy pattern,
Hmm.
and my little children are not little children anymore. They're like 23 and 27. But I'm still got that um this pattern
Yeah,
and I'm getting much better at it because I'm more aware of it. But it still keeps coming up. So
yeah, yeah,
I'm actually what I've been doing recently is
yeah.
what I have been practicing recently is deliberately resting.
Hmm.
Really, I found it
Tell me more.
really hard. I mean, I can, what I've realized is that when I was resting before, it was because I was tired. Oh, I need a rest,
When it's like when you drink water, it's they say when you're craving water, then you are already not in a healthy state. When you're craving
Yes.
rest, then you are already
Yeah, because
exhausted
it was
yourself.
more, yeah, it was
Yeah.
more like I need to rest, but now
Yeah.
taking it can be like, and I did it last Monday, I think, and it
Hmm.
was like for 2 hours
Hmm.
on a Monday afternoon, and I
Hmm.
just sat on the sofa and I watched some
Okay.
TV with my daughter. But I have to say, and it felt really uncomfortable. It's like
And I say what? You enjoyed it, I bet.
I did. I no. Well, to
Or
begin
what?
with, I was like, I should be doing this. This doesn't fit. I shouldn't be doing this. But then I let that go, and what I did notice the next day,
Mhm.
I felt more energy
Yeah.
and properly rested. So I think if there's anything I would say to the listeners is to really around self-care is deliberate rest, and it can be like
Yeah.
doesn't have to be as long as what I
I
did,
say,
but
yeah, sorry. I say also a practical thing when I get up in the morning. I usually, what I would do with my, mind and like spinning from the moment I open my eye, I would, check on my phone. That would be the first thing, I'm sorry, to do. But then what I started to do these days, I stop for a moment and I feel like, okay, what I feel like to do. And that's where I connect with you by watching a TV, like
yeah,
what I feel like to do. With, but without stepping in, like I don't want to step in yet or ever to that, like treadmill kind of feeling.
yeah,
And
yeah.
then in this peaceful moment, what is my, it's very passionate, but what is my soul craving for? And then the answer is like sometimes, you know, just like I did the other day, I was eating my breakfast on the balcony and I was watching Friends, an episode.
Yeah,
And that felt so great.
yeah,
And I'm learning this too.
yeah,
And I got, before I was, I think, exhausting myself too much. And lately I got even from my husband that he says to me in the morning, "Oh, okay, you look rested." I
yeah,
never got that before. So it shows to the outer world. And I think it's important that we become an example. Okay, we don't have to go that far. We should, just be able to provide it for ourselves, but it's also beneficial if we can be an example of this to others, because they can say, okay, I can relax.
yeah. Well, people can. I think it's a ripple effect, isn't it?
Mhm.
If you bump into someone um, who's like probably stressed and they're too busy and haven't got time to talk
Mhm.
and they're not present, and I obviously I know this myself. Um, you don't feel very, I suppose, welcomed in their space.
Mhm.
That makes sense.
Of course.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I
It's
don't. It's
just
like, oh my,
ditching, I call
do
it.
you know what it is? I feel like I'm interrupting them. I'm
Yeah,
interrupting
of
their
course.
time.
Yeah.
So it feels a bit invasive actually. But if you meet someone and I actually went out walking my dog, and it was really hot day. This was yesterday, and we
Mm-hmm.
have like a recreation ground, and I bumped into a couple of people I knew, and we let the dogs play around us, and we literally just stood there, just chatting
Yeah.
for about 10 minutes. We had the time,
Yeah.
and I came home and I felt really rested. It was really weird. It's
Nice.
just like really nice.
From here, I would go a little bit more difficult topic and a little bit deeper topic,
Yeah.
emotions. When we have the time, we got to have, the space for and the time to not consume, it's the opposite, like process our emotions. Because when we are not providing that time and space for
Yeah.
ourselves, then it's not happening. And then taking care of our mind, our emotions, our heart, so important. And when you have a great talk with a friend or a great time in nature, whatever pleases your body and your soul, I think it's
Mm.
so important to be in harmony. And I still say I'm learning that too. I'm not a pro in this, but I feel the importance of it 100%.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think as well, self-care is like a massive umbrella. I mean, we've only touched on a couple of things. We could probably talk a bit more in our next episode. I don't know, but I think also like listening to other podcasts, I think is learning
Mhm.
knowledge
Mhm.
can help increase your awareness. Any type of personal development. as you know, we do the avatar course, and we use the tools that really
Yeah.
help us
Yeah.
to become more present and stay
Yeah.
more
And
connected.
be able to detect what is right for you and what is not, what you imagine that is right for you and what is not. Like when you mentioned listening to podcast, just this thought came to my mind that sometimes I'm a bit compulsively, you know, um, consuming these um, contents. I'm able, because there are so many in the internet, and when I'm liking something, then I'm really on, sucked in sometimes.
Yeah.
And to detect, is it this moment something that is like an urge or like an emotional, we say in Avatar, emotional will. I want to experience this, but I cannot control it really. Or it's like a deliberate decision that, okay, I have some 5 minutes now and it pleases me to listen to this one.
Yeah. And it's that deliberate again, isn't it? Being more deliberate
Yeah.
what you want, and I guess following your dreams or goals or working out and I didn't know what I wanted to do when I was younger, or it wasn't in my awareness, but I think if you're working towards your goals as well, and that's when you start enjoying the job you do, then it's not so much work, and I think that personal growth, that's self-care as well.
I did some self-care today by correcting an article for my PhD thesis.
Yeah.
That is a requirement for my PhD to be finished. And I postponed it, I admit now to everyone, for 1 month. I postponed it. It was just one little tiny thing I had to do. And and now I feel so much better,
I was going to ask, how
so
do you feel now after doing that?
calmer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I think that the
because
self-care brings calmness, and I don't know if I think it happens in a lot of places in the world. There's not a lot of
yeah,
calm around, you know.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I like when people are weird. When, like, I someone on the I see
In
someone on the street and they're wearing something weird, or they acting somehow weird,
yeah,
and then I feel like it's encouraging me actually to be myself. I don't know, to dance, to sing
yeah,
to a song that I'm listening to, and not like offensively, like showing off with myself, but when there are a little number of people on the street and I dance a little bit, and then some people can see me, but it's like when I feel it, I do it. And yeah,
yeah,
and I really admire those people who have the courage to be weird in front of a crowd,
yeah,
and you feel them authentic, like I said, not showing off. Not
yeah.
It's not the motive behind it, but really authentically awesome.
Yeah, and I think even the word weird, um, just defining that word weird, does it, because weird can actually become normal, because it depends how it gets picked
Yeah.
up. I mean, look,
Yeah.
I was talking on Zoom.
Right now, weird means cool to me.
Yeah. I mean, if you'd have said to me 20 years ago, we'd be connecting on Zoom on an internet with a video and talking, I would have said that's weird,
Mhm.
you know? So,
Yeah, that's a good example. It's a good
yeah.
analogy. Yeah,
So I think it's good to be weird.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, my little weirdo. I just, I wish everyone to be weird in this couple of days, and to experience this, to experience connection to
Yeah.
ourselves, and enjoy summer.
Yeah. And do something different, do something new. And yeah, self-care is there's a number of things that anyone can do, isn't it, really? I think we've said a few things
Yeah.
in this episode, so
Yeah, I think so.
yeah. So I think that's it for this week, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have
Thank
nothing
you.
else to say. That's
Yeah.
weird. We got no finishing. It's weird.
We just fade out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone. Really,
Thank you for
if you
listening.
stayed with us and listened to us, we really appreciate you always. And we really looking forward to meet you next time.
Yes. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you.